Miss Ashley, can I share your resume? Is it okay that if I share your resume?
Of
You have an excellent
course.
resume.
All that hard work you put in, please share it like it's yours.
Thank you, thank you. I did a very minor resume. You don't know what kind of resumes I used to get. Yours came perfect. So
Well, I appreciate that. Yes,
yeah,
you can for sure share mine.
I'm just being honest.
And please, guys, please don't judge me. I've had every type of job there is.
That's good. It was not a lot. That's why I did not take out any of them.
Okay.
It was not, yeah, it was not that many.
And that's actually one, like I said, that was one of my things. Like I wasn't sure how many jobs to include. I've been working since I was 16. So do I include all of them since like 2006? Or, but thank you. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I sent it to Mr. Mullen and he overlooked it and he didn't make any changes for real either. So
Oh yes, so
that made me feel really good.
okay, if Mr. H gave it a pass, then I'm good. Okay. So I'm just being honest. I could even share the first one, the first draft that you sent me, and it doesn't have a lot to edit. So it did not take me that much. I would say it did not even take longer than 30 minutes, probably 40 minutes to come to this stage. So I did not do a lot. Some of them, yeah, especially at workforce, it might even take me days sometimes. So, so most of you had a chance to see the template that Mr. H sent, right? So it's pretty much similar to this one. So right here on the profile section, I just kept it like that. And you have the freedom to change that into executive summary or keep it like a profile, that's fine. I just made only minor change right here. You remember the note that I said last time, if you are planning to use this template, make sure change some of the words. So because you guys might come across to the same employer. So, every employer may not notice this, but some hiring managers are picky. So they might say, look, come on, this looked like someone's resume. I'm quite sure that I've seen this resume somewhere else. So don't give them that chance. So play with some words. So an enthusiastic, certified sterile processing technician. Why did I say certified? It's because you are in that process. You completed the ESHAM application, you're going to take the certification. Or sometimes if you want to be more true down to earth, you can even say in process.
That's what Mr. Mullen said. He said not to add certified in there just because I'm not actually certified yet. He was like, I love that you're trying to speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But once you get in, you can let them know.
Yeah.
I take my test on this date.
Yeah. So you can say I'm interested. So you can just take out that one until you get your certification, or you can even put in comma in process, certification in process, things like that. Use your creativity to do that. But sterile processing technician with a passion to excel in the industry. Have a strong achievement on staff development, team building, all manner of daily routines that drive a smoothly running department. Graduated at the top of the class at Central Sterilization Solutions School. So this is typically what I've got from H. So play with some words right here and even with the structure. And you did not take that many bullet points. So you took 2, 4, 6, 8, which is okay. And it's not that long. Proficient in working. So I have not done anything on this side. So whatever you want to do, play with some words right here on the core competencies as well. So the major change that I did was on the employment history. So I brought the name of the employer bold with the city and state, and then your position with the duration Since I saw few gaps in months, that's why I decided to take out the months and just put the years. That way, they're not gonna question. One thing that I want to keep reminding you, your resume has two purposes. The first is to give them a glimpse of who you are. You're just introducing yourself. At the same time, you are selling yourself. So you don't give them any chance to doubt your skill set before they had a chance to see you in person. Does that make sense? Because if they have any questions while you are with them, you have a chance to explain. But if you don't let your resume, take that opportunity for you to have an interview with them, because that's where you can sell yourself pretty well. So that's why whenever I have a chance to edit resume, I just want to make sure that there is nothing that hinders you from getting that interview schedule. So that's why I just took out those months. For some, that may be an issue, but you don't know. For another person may say, okay, she did not work 3 months here. Why? She did not work 2 months there. So I don't want them to have that question. That's why I took out the months. And right here, Ashley's first resume was mainly like in a complete sentence. She tried to put her duties in a complete sentence, all one. So I just, if you remember last time I said, most resumes would be easier to read if you put them in a bullet points. And also, since you're telling them that you have this skill set, it is much better to provide it with action verbs, active verbs. So here, since provided, organized, managed, I'm just being honest, I have not even changed any word. These are exactly what she had. I just took out the details, because you are not required to come up with a complete sentence in resume. So I just took out all sentence structure and put them in a list. So provided both administrative and clerical support to senior production staff. So I want to make sure that each line starts with an active verb. That's the main thing. And if you see right here, you can see there is no employment gap at all, because it's only showing years. And the other thing that I really wanted to highlight on her resume is that she have managed in a way, each job has something to contribute toward the new position that she is going, which we talked about transferable skills. Right here, for example, I can pick some examples. This is transferable skill because it's customer service. Right here, it's a very direct transferable skill. She dealt with a different type of equipment, but she knows how to deal with equipments. And that's what you're gonna do with the new position. And right here, here we go. I was even amazed to see you deliberately, plan to include something in each job to show that you have some type of skill set toward the new role. So you were really deliberate in doing that, right, Ashley?
Yeah. So when it came to like describing it, I always try to include those duties or skills that could apply to any job that I'm going with.
That's good.
They want to see that you could work on a team. They want to know that you're organized, that you can handle certain workloads and different things like that. So I did try to make sure that I was putting in those things that are more broad than specific.
Yes, and that would even remind me, these are some common transferable skills that you can include in your resumes. Your organizing skill, cleaning, because you make sure your workstation is clean, right, prior to doing anything. So those are considered transferable skills. Customer skills, organizing skills, cleaning skills. So especially for the industry that you're going, those three are really good. So you can include them with your previous jobs somewhere in the duties. So you really did a great job on this one. And we are in 2021. So the first job that you listed here is in 2012. So that's approximately like 10 years, 11 years, which is good. So most employers, they would prefer between 10 to 12 years. So you're good. That's why I did not want to take out anything. And on your education, that's where you have this certificate of completion. And there will be one thing that you can add. You will, once you get the badge from Collaborate, I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming, then you can even add Collaborate School of Data Analytics, and then you can add completion badge. And when you get your certification, you can add your certification. So now we are on this is where I just wanted to make some changes. And now we are in August, and you put a future date. On education, we mainly put, achieved credentials. So right here, I would say anticipated. I would say like this, anticipated to complete, and then you can show the date. In saying this, you're not lying or you're not saying anything. And it might even initiate some type of discussion during interview. Okay. And so have this, the two basic purpose of your resume. First is to introduce what type of skill set you have. The second thing is to initiate interview, to give you a chance. Is to ask them to give you a chance so that you can talk to them about whatever qualities you have. So this would be another thing that they can consider to talk about during interview. Okay. So that was an excellent thing. And the only thing the other thing I did was here you have your name, city and state, cell phone, and email address. I put them together because they are contact information. And I did not want to have the same information on the second page. You don't need that because they already have your contact information. They know which city and state you live. So all you need to do is just put your name to show that it's the second part of your resume. And page 1 doesn't have page number, but page 2 has page number. So the way to do that is easy. Like for example, right here, you click on, so the way she did it on the header. So right there on the header, you see on the design section, it will give you an options to pick this. So different odd and even page, when you pick that one, so it will have a chance, it will give you a chance to edit this. That way you can delete the city, state, and contact information. And also when you put, so that's how you can edit the header. But when you go to the page number, you go to insert and then pick page number. And right there, it will give you a chance to pick different first page. When you click on that one, it will remove the first page number, but it will have the second page number. Okay. And the other thing, I know it's silly to mention this, but I've seen with most resumes, if you have employer in your position, you have 2 roles. Don't let the 3rd or 4th role go to a new page like this. If you don't have enough space to bring that up here, I would recommend you to take it all down to a new page. It's a silly thing, but it makes a huge difference for the person who view your resume. So make sure that your position and your duties are all together. So if you don't have space for the remaining duties, you can just bring them down all together.
Same with me. Yesterday I forwarded to Mr. Mueller and Mr. Parnell as well, and they came back with some edits.
Okay.
I have to condense it as well, and then I can send it to you. Hopefully by the end of today, but for sure, if not tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. Then if you already forward it to them, then they would do the major job. So that would make my life easier. Good, thank you. Okay. Ms. Zara, you want to forward that to me?
Yes, I want to send it to you.
Okay. And when can I expect your resume? Today, tomorrow?
Yes, today.
Today. And
yes.
Do you have the template that Mr. Hari sent? Did you consult with that one? Did you use that template, or you just used your own?
Sorry.
You remember the template that Mr. Hari sent? He shared one resume template. Yeah,
I know that. I just had but by myself before. So
okay,
I did not make a resume again.
Okay, I would recommend you to take time and take some notes take something from Mr. Hari's resume, because he prepared that specifically for this position. So there will be some other good terminologies that you can borrow from that resume. But as soon as you're done, let me know, send it to me, and I will do my review on it.
I did review. I used some professional words in my resume. I think it's ready.
Okay.
Because I am living just 2 years in the US, and my resume is just about the US and a little bit in the Turkey country. I am working just for 2 years.
Okay, you made me think of something. So I'm in US. This is my 5th year. I came to US in 2016. But let me share my resume. I had some decent jobs back home, and I always included them in my resume. So these are my roles. So prior to joining, okay, right here, let me start with this one, okay? I use the same format, Ashley, you see? Michael Moshaga, my number, email address. And rather than profile, I have executive summary. And this, since I think I prepared this resume for the current position I have with Collaborate. So I tweaked it toward that. So service-oriented enthusiastic coordinator, trainer, and employment services specialist, molded through diverse educational and experiential assignments. This is a summary of my education and work experience. One paragraph, one line, boom. Second, proven expertise in managing holistic programs among rural, suburban, and urban community members to nurture physical, social, cultural, economic growth by coaching individuals in organizational cultures. Boom. This is a summary of 3 qualities that I have that I believe the new position requires. The third is always communication. Proficient in personal and interpersonal, verbal and written communication, with ability to deliver lectures, facilitate small and large seminars that foster organizational values and relationships. And then I went to professional experience, and right here, this was my most recent role with Workforce. So I have the position and then the activities, then the second role with Workforce, the third role. And right here, you see Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. From 2016, I was a youth leadership development coordinator for one big church-based nonprofit organization. So I have it there because I learned lots of good things there. So even though it's in a different country, even continent, well, I can say I have learned a lot from that experience. And I have the same thing. I was for the same company, but with a different job. I was a coordinator, and all these jobs have something to do with the position that I'm applying. So I have that. So even though you are here in US for 2 years, if you think your previous employment gives you some skill that you can take to the new position, I believe it's worth mentioning that in your resume, Ms. Dahra.
Okay. Yeah, I already used my my experience in my own country too.
Let me share my cover letter. I'm sorry, I don't have another sample. When I used to work at Workforce, I used to have different samples, but that's the intellectual property of the Workforce, so I was not able to take it with me. So the only example that I can provide is mine. Mine is too wordy. But don't focus on the words, focus on the structure and focus on the way I utilized it. That way you can have at least come up with some, cover letter. So why is cover letter needed? Cover letter, or in the other terminology, is called application letter. It's just people came up with a cover letter to get access to say something about your qualities, which you have no chance to explain in your resume. The resume is a limited place. You have to say lots of your work experiences in one setting, very in a brief manner. So people come up with applications to show their communication skills. And most companies now take it as a professional way of approaching your skill set when you put it in a cover letter. So it is recommended to come up with a cover letter. Even some companies, they will not even let you upload your resume unless you have a cover letter first. It's coming to that level. So it is good too. So in your cover letter, the common structure, first thing, the new company that you are thinking to apply. So collaborate, and then city and state. If you know the name of the hiring manager, it will be great to mention the name of the hiring manager, but most of the time you won't. Either you will have a chance to talk to the recruiter, or you would hear something from the front desk person. So most of the time when you're doing new applications, you may not have a chance to know the hiring manager, but definitely you will need the name of the hiring manager and also the HR person when you come up with your thank you note. But for cover letter, you're not required to have the name of the hiring manager. So you can say just dear hiring manager. Let me read the first paragraph, and then I'll tell you what 3 points that you need to include in your first paragraph, okay? As a practitioner and graduate of transformational leadership in cultural transformation that worked both within and outside the public service sectors, I am writing this to apply for the project coordinator position. I strongly consider that my educational and career pathway have fashioned my mind and my expertise to serve people and companies well. My attached resume does speak well that I have a receptive mind and candidness for new chapters. So the first paragraph is all about 3 things. These are the 3 things that you need to focus on. Summary of the transferable skill, the transferable experience and education you have from your past life. So right here, I'm saying, okay, I'm a graduate of transformational leadership, and I have been in cultural transformation concentration, and I have worked within and outside public service. So, I'm mentioning my most recent educational journey, and also the industries that I have had a chance to work with. And then the next thing is I am telling them which position I'm applying for and where I got that position. I did not include that here because I was approached since I was a student at Collaborate. I was approached. But if you got your posting from a website or from a job fair, it is recommended to tell them where you got that information from. So I'm writing this to apply for the project coordination position posted on your website or posted on LinkedIn profile, something like that. So tell them where you got that posting. And the third thing, all you tell them is why you think you are a good candidate. So I strongly consider that my educational career pathway have fashioned my mind and my expertise to serve people and companies. I'm telling them I'm definitely a qualified person for this position. Why? Because of my education and previous work experience. Okay. And you will reference your resume. You're telling them that I have also attached my resume, and my resume basically tells, because since most employers don't exhaustively list the job description, so I'm telling them that, I have a receptive mind. I'm a good learner. So even though I have the basic skill set, I'm a good learner. So my resume testifies that. So your first paragraph is basically telling them, it summarizes your previous education and work experience and why you think you're good at, where you get that posting, where you got that information from, and why you think you are a good candidate. Any question right there on the first paragraph? Okay, good. So I'm getting back to my, my teaching mood. I used to be a teacher back home, so it's been a while. It's been almost 6 years, and I'm getting back, right? Okay. The second paragraph, I don't think I need to read the whole thing, but it's more of the second paragraph is basically listing the major work experience you have that relates to the new position. So when I read this, see how I tried my best to relate my previous work experience to the new position, which is project coordinator. So I believe both academic and field experience should go hand in hand. Hence, I have managed to work more than 10 years following every schooling opportunity. My current employment responsibility as operations supervisor has developed my expertise in surveying community assets, executing memorandums with vendors, recruiting employees, facilitating workshops, and providing on-the-job coaching. And I assure you, if I show you the job description, collaborate hard for this project coordinator position, I have at least tried to touch every single thing that they requested from that position. And as a workforce development staff, I assisted. So this is my second role. So I started with my current role when I applied that position, And then I went to the next one. As a workforce development staff, I assisted several employers recruit potential employees and managed high volume hiring events and job fairs. So that's job 2, job number 2. Job number 3, my 2 years missionary work to the nomadic people at the border of Ethiopia and Kenya. You see, I even brought the other experience that I had from a different country. Why? I'm telling at the same time that I'm able to work in a diverse work atmosphere. You know, that's one skill set that most companies require nowadays. Ability to work with diverse people groups, because that's the current realm of many cultures nowadays. So my 2 years missionary work to the nomadic people at the border of Ethiopia and Kenya gave me a lifelong knowledge of serving the holistic necessities of people of diversity. My leadership responsibility and seminary lecturing introduced me to organizational harmony without eradicating differences in worldviews views and value systems. As a youth leadership and organizational performance and development leader and trainer, I learned to coach youth at risk and help them meet individual and organizational performance goals. And then finally, right here, I am an all-rounded holistic leader to represent both employees and employers' needs and ensure quality matching for mutual benefit through successful training and leadership. So I tried my best to, get some information from my past work experience and show them that whatever your position requires, I have them somehow. That's what you do in the second paragraph. You may not have a chance to do that in your resume because your resume restricts you to list the duties you had under that role, but you did much more than that. That would definitely be beneficial for the new role. So you are given a chance to say that in your cover letter or application letter. And I recommend to keep it 1 page. Some people come up with 2 page, 3 pages because they're given the freedom. But most of the time, hiring managers are super busy. If it is more than 1 page, they will lose the appetite to read it. So I keep it 1 page. Are we good on the second paragraph? So it's all about work experience, okay? Trying to relate your past with your future. Okay, the third paragraph. So in the third paragraph, the main thing you do is you again highlight the skill set, the major skill set the job requires, telling them that I have those basic skills that you require. And you tell them how your work ethics, and then you will tell them you are ready for any type of discussion. So in the third paragraph, you're just summarizing the skill set. You just pick 1, 2, 3 skill set that you think you have, the new job requires, and you're telling them that you have the work ethics needed, and you're telling them that you are open for discussion. So this is what I did. As you can perceive, I have been prepared for the brand of service-oriented assignment like that of yours. I'm saying myself. I'm saying I've been prepared for that type of role. I engage individuals and companies with passion, analytical strategies, and sincere motivation with the goal of creating functional partnership for mutual benefit through effective learning purposes. So that's my summary. 3 basic qualities I think I have that needs a new. I warmly welcome any type of discussion with you regarding my qualifications to the job your organization has posted. I'm willing to travel to work full-time during 6 days of a week, in addition to other pre-informed part-time and holiday loads. That's my work ethics. I honorably assure you that my service-minded personality, educational success, my passion for harmonious relationship, and experience on engaging people will richly benefit your organization. This is what I bring to the table. And I'm telling them, you will be blessed by my presence. You're acting like a salesperson, and that's what sales do. So you're selling yourself. Therefore, allow me to accompany your workforce to move towards the intended purpose. Before I say this right here, I'm trying to sell myself in a moderate way. I'm not being mean. I've seen some cover letters saying that there is no one out there who is more competent than me. Things like that. Those are mean. So sell yourself, but in a very moderate, professional manner. Okay. Therefore, allow me to accompany your workforce to move towards the intended purpose. I can be reached at, here is my number and my email. Thank you for your consideration. With best regards, my information. I know it's too wordy because I want them to pay me more. And Yash is not here, right? Yash was one of the person who interviewed me for this position. I'm not sure he regrets for that or not, but hey Yash.
Hey, I know. Go ahead, you can describe. But hey, I was doing my job.
He was doing his job when he interviewed me. Okay, so basically that's the purpose of cover letter, and that's the whole structure. Okay, so the first paragraph, let me summarize. Forget about Michael's cover letter. It was just a sample. So remember these points. The first paragraph is all mainly I have a note. So let me refer back my note. First paragraph is summarize your transferable experience in education, right? And you're telling them where you got that position, how you heard about that position, and why you think you are a good candidate. That's the first paragraph. The second paragraph, you're telling them your previous experience. So you are relating your past with the future. You're telling them from this job, I have this type of skill set. From this job, I have this type of skill set. From this job, I have this type of skill set. But those skill sets are mainly geared toward the new position. So you are not repeating your resume. Am I clear here? So your resume restricts you to that specific role. But right here, you have a chance to tell them what transferable skills you have from your past that really aligns with the current or with the future position. So you have a freedom to say, hey, even though I had this type of position, but I was doing this. Okay, so that's the second paragraph. The third paragraph, you just take 3 main qualities, 2-3 main qualities you think you have, but the position requires, the new position that you are considering requires, and you're telling them, I am a good candidate and I can be approached. I can be contacted this way. This is my phone number. This is my email address. And I'm willing to work 6 days. I'm willing to work 7 days from this to this. If you want to work night, you can tell them right here. You can tell them, I can work night shift. I can work second shift. I can work first shift. I can work 12 hours, 14 hours a day. I can work holidays. You're selling yourself.
Just clarity on the first paragraph. I have your 3 points, and I noticed in your cover letter that it did state that you have attached your resume. Is that another secondary element that should be within the first paragraph?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yes, I recommend to say that you have attached your resume.
Okay.
And that way, we're acting professional. So I'm not just only, because there are some people who just only send cover letter and don't send resume. So you're telling them, hey, please see my resume as well. So, one feels if something is lacking, they can go and find it from the resume. If the resume is lacking something, they can come to the cover letter and find it. That way you have a complete set. That's a good question. Ashley, what do you think about the cover letter? Do you have one? Are you planning to do one?
I've always struggled with cover letters. I think I've written one in my entire life, and I think, like you said, it may have been too wordy, but for the most part, I struggle with them because mainly because it's hard for me to talk myself up in writing like that. Because I'm not somebody who is that way in general. You know, I'm just gonna kind of do what I can do, and if it's great, it's great. If it's not what you need, it's not what you need. So having your example, you know, kind of, you know, put this in the first paragraph, put this in the second paragraph, put this in the third paragraph, kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of having to come up with whatever I have to come up with.
And I can relate myself with you. It took me a long time with my personality to come up with this type of cover letter. Mm-hmm. And I did my first cover letter 5 years back when I moved to US and to apply for the workforce. Mm-hmm. Back home, we don't need a cover letter. Back home, the main thing is they don't even care about your structure. They call it CV, we call it curriculum vitae. Mm-hmm. So not resume. They want to see every single thing that you do in that role, and they want you to attach your credentials. It's a little bit different. So whether you are a perfect fit for that position or not, most of the time you will have a chance to get an interview back home. But here, there is a lot of competition.
Yeah.
So that's why people come up with a cover letter. And it took me a long time to feel okay about it, because, do I need to say this? Yes, sorry to say this, don't get me wrong, but here in US, if you don't speak for yourself, you're not considered confident.
Right.
Don't take it wrong.
No, for sure.
But people who talk a lot are considered
confident.
Yeah. So that's why, I mean, you
confident.
are,
they're
Miss
considered,
Angela, I'm sorry, I'm not,
if you
I'm
have
not
no
trying
problem,
to.
like, speaking to people, speaking in strange settings and things like that, like, they label those people as the most confident people. And to me, sometimes, not, you know, any disrespect to anyone who is, those are the people who, to me, are kind of nervous a lot. Like me, I talk and to fill space, because I don't like that awkward silence, that awkward, so what do we do? You know, but definitely I can for sure agree with that. I can talk about anything. I always say, like, in my job search, if I can get an interview, I'm going to get the job. I've never had a job that I've actually got an interview for that I didn't get. It's actually getting past the putting in a cover letter, making sure that my resume speaks for me, for them to want to even meet me. Because once you meet me, I can talk my way through it. And I can, you know, really show you how right I am for this position. It's just in writing, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not well.
Yeah, try that journey. I mean, the first steps will be very hard, but I mean, it's the science, right? Whether you like it or not, you have to come up with some type of adaptive mechanism, whether you like it or not. If you are going to survive, you have to come up with some type of adaptive mechanism. You need to somehow adapt it. So, yeah, the competition is real, and you don't want to exclude yourself. So just come up with something that will make you comfortable, but at the same time, you know, employers will have a chance to know you before they meet you. The challenge is real.
I've never done one. And actually Mr. Mueller didn't mention it, so I'm hoping I don't need one. But if I do, then I have now a structure that I can put in place to be able to do a cover letter.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know some hospitals do not require, especially industries with high turnovers. They don't really require cover letters. Why? Because they have numerous applicants and they don't have time to go through all those cover letters. But you might come across with one who needs a cover letter. So stay ready so that you won't need to be ready when it's needed. So that's what I can say. And Ms. Zahra, are you comfortable with cover letter? You good? Good.
Actually, I also send my resume to your email.
Okay, thank you. I'll look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so cover letter optional depending on the application that you work with. But the next one, I would say it's not optional. We don't do it a lot, but it's not optional. And I will give you live examples. As a talent engagement specialist with workforce and also as a supervisor, I always push, not just recommended, my job seekers after they do interview to leave a thank you note. Before pandemic, you could do that using a postcard, a thank you postcard. You could do that purchasing some samples from the internet, and there are some thank you notes that you can purchase, but they won't really sound if you know what I mean. You can purchase them, they're nice, they have nice verbiage, but they don't really sound you, and they don't really relate to your situation. So, but now after the pandemic, you are not required to send a mail. You're not required to send a postcard. Most of them won't be comfortable with. Even most of them are trying to do virtual interviews. So I highly recommend everyone to send an email with a thank you note. So there is no formal structure, but there are two things that you always need to include in your thank you note. And I'm going to share the thank you note that I did for Collaborate after my interview for this position, project coordinator. Like I said earlier, if you had a chance to go to workforce offices, the TESs will have different templates. They can share those with you. I was not able to take them with me because I can't. That's the workforce property, and my integrity would not allow me to do that. So he is just one of the thank you note that I did. After the interview, I sent this for those who were in the interview. The good thing is I did my interview on email, so I was able to get the list of those people from the invite. So they sent me a Zoom link, so everyone was included. Then I took that. Okay. Dear esteemed members of Collaborate management team, I would like to pause and present my heartfelt gratitude for the opportunity I was given to sit with you today on the interview panel. So that's obvious. The first thing you say, thank you for the chance, for the opportunity I'm given to interview. Thank you so much for blocking your time from your busy day to have this very friendly conversation regarding the XPrize project coordinator position. So you appreciate their time, and you are also telling them for what position you interviewed for. That's very important because they have done 20 interviews maybe that day for different positions. So they don't know which position you interviewed for. So you tell them for what position you interviewed. Okay. I was very delightful. So those are the two common things that every thank you note should have. One was you thank them for blocking their time. Two, you mention the position you interviewed for. And if I include the third, which will be very good, this is the third thing. It was very delightful to hear from your commitments to strategize and create venues to implement AI-centered training for those who are underprivileged and disadvantaged people groups. Here, what am I trying to summarize? I'm telling them I really paid attention to every conversation they had. Okay, so they told me that they come up with a training platform that uses AI, artificial intelligence, to provide training. So I'm telling them, hey, I'm very impressed by that. What am I telling them? I was into that interview. Okay, so you can summarize the company's major role. That's a plus. So, you know, usually in the interview, it could be a manager or whoever it is, they will tell you about the company, right? They tell you, okay, this is the name of the company, and here, this is our mission, this is our vision. So if you can just grasp that and tell them that you are really, you know, you are very impressed to hear about their mission or vision, that will make them feel happy. Okay, so I just told them that I'm really excited to hear about their platform and their mission. After listening, and here is the three things, okay? This is the whole purpose. Based on the conversation you had in that interview, make sure you jot at least 2 or 3 points you got from that conversation. And you telling them, you listed these 3 things. And even after listening this, I feel like I am the perfect candidate because I have these qualities. Okay. After listening to the project scope and requirements, I could not stop thinking about the possible ways we can utilize to properly pre-screen suitable candidates, assist prospectus in completing the fast-paced training, and prepare them for positions created through employer engagement activities. These were the 3 things that they told me. And these are the job requirements. So I'm telling them, hey, even after listening this, I felt like, yes, I have so many plans in mind. I have so many things in mind that can contribute toward its effectiveness. That's the catch. Okay. My educational journey and work experience have given me the needed expertise to effectively coordinate the project by closely working with Collaborate, TWC board candidates in employers in the targeted industry. Being a current employee of TWC with 5+ years of first-hand experience and a Collaborate student who has done the technical part in the job readiness portion, I'm confident that my skill set best fits the position requirement. I will also commit to help Collaborate better utilize this is additional because I saw some interest, you know, and there were some interests that they indicated during that interview. So I said, you know what, I can use that as an opportunity to say that, hey, and you told me this, and I know some things, I have some information about that, and I can help you with that. That's outside the job duties, but I can help you with that. That's a selling point. So I said, okay, and you showed me interest about this, and I know how to help you with that. And then you will say, I'm open to discussion and further negotiation in relation to position requirements and compensations. So first, you're gonna thank them for blocking time. Second, you're gonna tell them for what position you applied. And third, come up with 3 points that you got from the discussion that caught your attention and make sure to want that position more than, you tell them that you develop much desire after the interview. Okay. So you were interested when you saw the position, but tell them that, hey, the interview increased the interest level. Why? Because of this points. Still, the thank you note is wordy. That's my style because I'm a publisher, so I like writing. So, you know, when it comes to writing, it just comes. So it doesn't have to be wordy like this, but the main thing is you thank them for blocking their time. You tell them for what position you applied for, and you tell them the 3 points that caught your attention that makes you to consider this position with a higher interest level. And you tell them that you are open and available for negotiation and discussion. Does thank you note really make a big difference? Yes. Let me give you one tangible evidence from experience. And I had a guy who had really hard time to find employment because he had some type of background, and he has the skill set, he has everything that the job needs, but for some reason he was not getting jobs. And I think I worked with that job seeker for more than 6 months. And then another position come, and he was so interested with that position. And he said, if I don't get this position, I'm not going to put any application anymore, and I'm not even coming to the workforce center. He was to that frustration level. And I was doing my prayer, but this time, after, you know, we did the resume together, we put the application together in the office. I want to make sure that he's doing everything right, and we even did the cover letter. And then thankfully he got an interview. So I told him, please bring me 3-4 points from that discussion so that we can come up with a thank you note. And he did. So he jotted down, I think, 3 things. And those 3 things were in relation to the job, to the new job. So we came up with this type of thank you note. And it was a good paying job. And after the interview, we sent that thank you note. And by chance, I was able to talk to the employer because the employer came to our job fair. And he told me this. The employer said he didn't give me names. He said he is very interested with 2 candidates, and he's having a hard time to pick one from these 2. He doesn't have 2 positions available, and he's having a hard time to pick one from these 2. And guess what? The next day, my job seeker got a call, and he was offered a position. And the employer was able to make that decision just because of the thank you note. The first job seeker, the first applicant, he did not leave a thank you note. And the second, my job seeker left a thank you note. And next time when the employer came for another job fair, I asked him, you hired that guy, right? Yes. And he told me it's because of the thank you note. You told him that it's because of the thank you note. And the employer said yes. And I asked him why, what makes a difference? Because I wanted to have his status as well. And he said, it's because I was quite sure that he heard every single thing that we talked in the interview. And that tells me that if I make instructions at the work site, he will be able to listen to my instructions. That's it. So the points he heard from paying attention to that interview made the employer think that he is instructable. I can give him instructions, he will listen. I did not see it from that angle. But so thank you notes make a difference. I can tell you different stories like that. So thank you notes make a difference. So cover letter optional unless the company requires it, but thank you note, come up with something. And as soon as you get the interview position, please send that thank you note. Mr. Diamond, I see you here. It's not late. I know you got the position. I know you get the start date, but it's not late. You can send that thank you note to whoever did the interview. If you don't have the interviewer's information, you can even ask the person who contacted you, who gave you the offer, can you please forward this thank you note to this person? It is a sign of respect.
And I do want to add to that. I do agree with you with everything you're saying. Most high-end and high-paying jobs require things of the sort when it comes to like your cover letter. And I never could structure out my cover letter to be selling myself. And that is some of the reasons why I've been looked over, you know, when it comes to jobs that's paying like $18 to $20 or even $25 an hour. It's hard out there. It is, but it's just the way that you sell yourself to these companies whenever they're looking at you. So I do want to thank you for showing us the good example of how to structure that out.
You're welcome. And I'm available if you also want to, if you want me to review your cover letter, thank you notes, I'm available too. You can email it to me. I'm not, you know, the person for everything, but I will, you know, use whatever I can to put my my contribution into that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any question? Anyone? So
Yes, from the chatty one, I have one more question.
yes, ma'am. Go.
Just
Go
a
ahead,
quick one. Okay, so now since Diamond introduced that, what about the acceptance letter? Is that something that we will in the future discuss in one of the future boot camp sessions? Is it, you know, once we receive an acceptance letter, what's the proper way to communicate back to our now employer that we received it and we're good with the offer? And yes.
So I know Miss Diamond will tell us something from her experience, but most of the time, once you pass the interview and then you get the offer, things will become informal. Most employers don't have like a formal structure how to do the next part. They will just leave it on the manager to handle it the way they want it. So it's very hard to have some type of structure for that type of communication. Some of them might email you. Some of them might even just give you a call. I think in Diamond's case, they just gave you a call, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they actually did both. And then upon it, I seen that I had two different managers that was reaching out to me to just give me more information on my next steps and my next steps. So it's been many different steps. And I even had to do some things this morning. So yeah, it is different steps once you first get your acceptance.
Yeah. It's entirely on the manager. Once you got that offer letter, they will tell you what the next steps are. Some of them may require you to sign some, I think most employers, they might even send you a reference letter. They will tell you, okay, give us the names of the three references you have. And then they will go and check the references. And then they will send you a contract that you need to sign. And then they might ask you to do a background check or drug test. You know, they have different employers have different structures. So it would be very hard to have a.
Yes, I guess my more basic, not so much those oriented specifics as much as it is, you know, like most times, if you send us a text message, that way you know it has been received. If you have not spoken to that person live and in person, you know, most times I'll say received, you know, by Angela, but how, you know, if it does come, because I've had it where it's the HR recruiter, the manager is CC'd on it, but I want to round robin and make sure I close out the circle of communication and let them know, yes, it's it may be I'm in the first late. Second person may be in line if I say no. I mean, does that make sense, or is
Yes.
it okay?
Yes, like for example, when I got the offer from Collaborate, it was the HR manager who reached out to me. And she told me that she told me that I am selected for that position if I'm willing to accept it. And I said, yes, I'm willing to accept it. That's why I applied for the position. And she asked me, what's my salary expectation? There comes the conversation. So then we talked about it, and she said, okay, I will speak with with the rest of the team and I'll get back to you. And so she did. So basically, that would be the natural process. Once they will ask you that you accept the position, and before you even say, yes, I accepted, you can ask them how much the position pays. And then if it is below your expectation, so you will tell them nicely that you did your research and you know how much that position pays with other employers. And you tell them that you were expecting, you give them the range. And then most definitely the HR manager will say, oh no, or they won't even say, they will say, okay, they will take that to the management, discuss it, and they'll get back to you. And then if that is something that they will consider, they will come back and tell you the next steps. Yeah, that's a good question. Wow, we covered a lot, right? Okay, we're good with the resume, and Miss Diamond, I know you already have a new job coming, but that's not the final thing, because we want you to get the certified Sterilite technician position as well, coming in 6 months as it is promised to you. So we want to help you toward that. So if you are able to work on your resume, I don't want to sound opportunist, but this is what most professionals say. The good time to find another employer, another job, is while you are working. It sounds odd, but that's the truth. So you have a job, that doesn't mean you stop looking for another job, because there are so many opportunities out there. So do it in a way that doesn't affect your current job. So Miss Diamond, yes, you got that, but that's not, you wanna do well. You wanna make more money, right? You want some type of progress in your life. So please go ahead and see the template Mr. Harris sent, the resume template. Do your part and send me your resume before Friday. I will review it. We have another job fair coming mid-September. And if your schedule allows you, I want you to attend that job fair, because there might be better opportunities out there. If a better opportunity comes, then we will talk about the exit. I don't want you to burn your bridge, because you don't know where life will take you. Whenever I transition to a new job, I maintain my bridge. I don't quit. I don't just go or leave. I do it professional. So we will talk about professional exit. If that is the case, we're going to consider. But I want you to have a good resume, and I want you to attend the coming job fair. If God has something for you better, we'll see, and then you will move toward that. So go ahead and utilize Mr. Harvey's template and do your resume, and then send it to me so that we can make you ready for that job fair. Does that sound good? So I guess we covered all the agenda that we had for today. Thank you so much for joining today's class. Keep working on the IPBC section. If you had a chance to go to the IPBC, you would see different developments going on every day. Still, the developments are doing some upgrades. So the mock interview part is coming. So go ahead, watch the videos and practice recording your videos, answering those interview questions. And the mock interview will be available soon. So keep working on your IPPC section. And if you come across any difficulty, any question, don't hesitate to contact us, okay? Text, email, call. All right, thank you so much, everyone. So we hope to see you next Monday, next class. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.